Hey there, Sazhida. My name's Andrew, and I'm the essay corrector here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you for submitting these first essays, and well done for getting this far in the course. What usually happens with these is I read through sentence by sentence and just let you know how well you've responded to the task, how well you have structured your essay. I'll also talk about the language used and whether it was formal and precise enough, and I will make some grammatical corrections along the way. So this question specifically asks about doing an enjoyable activity with a child, participating in fun things with children, can better develop skills and imagination, both things, abilities and creative thinking, than reading. So it's got quite a lot of information in this sentence, and we need to make sure that we understand that this is exactly the question we must be responding to. Also, to what extent do you agree or disagree? So we need to state how much we agree or disagree with the question, and we also need to provide an outline of the essay here. So let's have a look. Instead of saying evolving, I would say the development of. So instead of saying that, we can say activities such as board games and sports So here in this introduction, not only have we paraphrased the question, but we've given our opinion, and we've also briefly outlined what the essay is going to be about. So there's just two. What I'm going to say here is that there are too many sentences. So let's have a see. Firstly, participating in board games such as Monopoly, this is because the game specifically develops skills, don't use like in places such as analytical thinking, mathematical accounting, analytical thinking, accounting. Actually, So we do need here something about how that these games are better than reading. So here we just talk about that they have numerous benefits and what those benefits are, but we need to make sure that we compare it with reading. And you notice how I say participating in board games with children to make sure that we satisfy this part of the question. So the topic sentence of a paragraph needs to introduce the rest of the sentence. So here, this next sentence explains that sports introduce dynamics, but here we talk about reading. So this is not quite correct. I'm going to use complex language just to make sure that we're pushing for that band 8. Let's mention teamwork. Remember, active and sport games are more beneficial than reading. We need to make the comparison to reading. But also, we've talked about business skills and these things, but we also need to talk about imagination, creative thinking. So this is something we've missed out. The comparison with reading was missed out of one paragraph and not clear in the other. There's no mention of imagination throughout this essay, and I did have to tweak it to make sure that it satisfied this part of the question as well. Don't talk about what you tend to agree with, talk about what you agree with. Smarter? I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe that. These kinds of activities will be perceived as more academic. So after we've finished editing that, what's the word count like? See, we need to make sure we're writing at least 250 words for every single essay. We need to make sure that, one, we write the right number of words, but that also that every single word that we use is appropriate. We mustn't use any extra words just as filler, because this can count against you in the exam. But for first essays, these were really good. This is really good even. But we do need to make sure that we hit that word count and that we really study the question to make sure that we're satisfying every single part of it. Obviously, there were quite a number of grammatical errors throughout this, but that will get better throughout. I recommend that you read something every day. Read an academic article every single day to give your brain an idea of where these prepositions and such should be falling. But let's have a look at your second piece. So So let's not talk specifically about relationships. We need to talk about communication. Now, if you want to agree, then you'll have to say something, you'll have to make it clear that this is an opinion. And then you can say, I strongly agree with this statement. Cool. This is largely because, in the past, people shared the latest news, asked advice, and talked during family gatherings. Ooh. We don't need to explain what people can use it for. We could just say, for example, recent research from Harvard indicates that networks such as Instagram and Facebook actually most prefer to chat online with friends and followers. Adults struggle with a lack of time or a lack of available time. There we go. Sorry for not speaking for a while. I just wanted to get the grammar correct. Because I think, actually, this essay is much, much better. The reasoning is much clearer. The word count has been hit. The ideas were good, but it just needed to be trimmed. So there was just too much in there that wasn't necessary. And as well, I had to make some things sound more natural or change some prepositions and such. So I'll send this over to you now. What you should do with these is correct your own work. Send me the corrected essays that you've done. Basically, watch these videos, use the suggestions to correct your own work, send me the corrected essays. Also, send me a list of the errors you feel you made most frequently, and your new essays. And I'll have these back to you as quickly as possible. Nice one, Sazhida. I'll speak to you again soon.